Hey, how you doing today? My name is Relyea, and thank you so much for stopping by. Today, we just got information about the Hollow Knight Silksong Release Date coming out September 4th. The whole trailer got released, but what is different? What is the stuff that we've seen before? What's new? We are breaking this down on the live stream, but we're probably going to turn it into a video. So that's what this is. Let's go. Let's take the speed down to like to half speed, and let's try and see what details we can see in here. First off, Moss Grotto. We've seen the background in this area before, but we have not seen it with all of these little buggy friends floating around. I feel like that's new. All right, so then we've got this village. I don't want to say new because we have seen it before. This was in the Xbox trailer, the second trailer, I want to say. So we had never made it this far over with this enemy here, or an enemy townsfolk here. I'm trying to see what this is here, but I can't really tell. It almost looks like it is or was a statue, or it's like a statue in progress, right? Like it's got these horns, but then it's also like it's inside of an egg or something like that. Hard to tell exactly what that is. Oh, the houses have horns. That's true, but look, the horns, and then it comes to a curve, and then this has horns, and then it comes to a curve. This comes up to a point like this, so I kind of think it's not a house. It's nothing else in the back like this. It's got horns, and it comes down to a curve like this. So unless there's something in front of the house and it's up higher, it kind of almost looks like some sort of like rock or something. I think that they're carving something out, or maybe it's the beginning of a house. I don't know, hard to say. We have seen this little dude before. It seems like here in this context, likely an enemy, but we've also seen this guy floating around with a different tunic or cape, and seemed like a friendly in the big city. And look at this, in the background we got the stalactite looking plants, and that was in the trailer that we saw a little bit as well. So we had seen this enemy before. We've also seen this enemy before. I love the background. It means we're close to areas. In the first like half of the video, it's all stuff that we've already seen before. I do love that here we've got all of the different fleas. I think that's what they are, right? So this is one of the 3 wandering flea master people, and look at this one right here, right behind my head. Does that mustache look kind of familiar? There was some people who speculated that the 3 flea masters kind of looked like me, Mossbag, and Rusty, the Super Forge. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do like his mustache. But look, lots of fleas to find, and then we will make these guys nice and happy. Ascend to the peak of a haunted kingdom, which we kind of knew that that's what was happening. We were going to be ascending. We're climbing instead of going down with Hollow Knight. We've seen both of these enemies before. We've even seen this area of Bone Bottom. It's just nice seeing all of it. So there's also these like blue things in the platforms, probably just some sort of aesthetic look, but does look interesting. They also looked breakable. Did you see how they were like shaking there for a second? If we look at them, look at how much they're moving, and the dust is coming off of them. That's kind of interesting. Look at Hornet zooming on by. This is Grey Mourner, another area we've already seen. There's so many bells just on the ground over here. I mean, the place is very desolate, like some bad stuff happened, right? Hornet taking the lift. Good stuff. Nothing new here. Although these little buggies. Oh, look right here. So there's Chakra's ring on the floor here, which could be an indication that Chakra's nearby, or maybe she's over that way. Why is she losing her rings? Why is she leaving them on the ground? I don't know. We're assuming that's one of Chakra's rings. That is great to see. And then we've got the little lava. This is that enemy that I was talking about earlier, that when he's in the city for whatever reason has a different cape color. There you go. That's exactly what I was talking about. We did see this part in a trailer before, and we kind of saw like how the signs are different, and all of this stuff is, it goes from like, it looks like it's very dirty now, and it maybe was a lot cleaner later. I'm assuming that we go from dirty, nasty town to it gets clean and pristine later over time. It's hard to tell which one it is, but that's kind of my guess. There's also the town's massive. It goes up and up and up as well. And this is telling us to go to the right. We got another NPC right behind my head off to the side of the screen. We probably don't get to see too much of. This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see all this text. So we got the string shard, a vicious stabbing trap. We can build it. Just know it disturbs us. The devious implements you contrive to kill. So not only do you have to pay for the trap, but it requires some sort of like upgrade material, which it looks like Hornet does have one in this thing here. It looks like we get to pick and choose which tools we get to buy, which is awesome. I think the string shard is going to make a lot of sense because you can pogo off of it and get to higher areas. I think it's going to make sense to have that as opposed to some of the other things that you can buy. Magma. Oh, and look, it's got like a blue thing up at the top to say like what kind of slot it fills. So that one fits a blue slot on a crest. What about the last one? Was that also blue? The red slot. So it goes red slot, blue slot, magma ball. This trinket is our own invention. It wards against the deadly lava and heat around these docks. The workers used to request them of us. Now they've lost the mind to care. Interesting. So the dock workers, like the one off to the right, probably lost their mind. I wonder if everyone lost their mind or how that's going to work. That's really interesting. Other than the magma bell, I think crafting kit is the last one. Crafting by claw alone produces inferior results. With this kit, you can craft finer, sharper, and deadlier tools, if that's your wish. Interesting. So I wonder if that means that Hornet is only able to craft certain tools unless she has the crafting kit. Like maybe there's some things that she can craft herself at a bench and other things she has to go to an NPC to craft until she gets the crafting kit. Seems like it would be a little bit tedious to have to do that. Or maybe the crafting kit unlocks more stuff somehow. Probably not a big unlock. Maybe you have to use a crafting kit in order to be able to craft things at a bench, which means that the tools are going to be really far between. Like you're not going to have tons of them all the time. They're going to be really special, especially if you have to use a tracking kit for that. And I don't think we see this last one, but we did see this last one in a demo, and it is a shard pack, I think is what it was called, and a shard pack held 80 shards. So you can spend your beads or your rosaries to get shards is what it's looking like. Also, what was the cost on these? That required one. Next one also requires one. There you go. Then we've got the bell here. Now we've got a map. Bellheart that must have been the town. We do still have water areas in Greymore. Halfway home. Interesting. Far fields. So deep docks, the Morrow. Where is... Oh, Pilgrim's Rest. This must be the area where we start here. This will take us up to Far Fields. If I had to guess, this is the starting area. That then takes us into deep docks. I'm only assuming that these two areas are like close together. I'm wondering if this area up here... I'm trying to remember where the boss fight was. No, because you didn't come up from the bottom for the boss fight. You can get more off to the side. How far over can we get? That's Pilgrim's Rest, but I don't see... So this whole area is Farfields then. I wonder how much we've seen of the Morrow. I think we've seen some of Deep... Oh, Deep Docks is the wet area. Greymore is the area with the headstones and the bells that we saw a little bit earlier. Shellwood looks like it's got some water in this area too. So I imagine these areas are kind of what we've seen with like the stalactite type plants, possibly. Look at these things hanging from the top here. This area here, very interesting. Obviously not sure what those are yet, but oh, is this... Oh, here's Moss Grotto. Here's the start of the game. There's the little bell right there. There's the bell. We fall all the way from the top right here. There we go. Hornet crashes in her bell cage thing. And then over to the right here is where we find Dave. We come over to the left. We come up and around. This is all the demo area. There's a bench. And then over here you fight the first boss. Directly above that is the Bone Bottom area, which is interesting. I wasn't expecting the Morrow to be right there. Bone Bottom I thought was like the fiery place. So this is definitely not like that Bell City thing. The Bell City area, I wonder if it's called Bell Heart. I'm not sure what these circle things are yet. It almost seems like an item, but hard to tell. I want to say the yellow things are more like pins. Hard to tell. This little yellow thing towards the bottom looks like rosaries. So we got rosaries, we've got benches. I'm not 100% sure what the yellow pieces are. They look like they could be custom pins, but why would they have put custom pins all over the place? I wonder if these are bone shard deposits. I'm not sure, but very interesting details on the map. I have a feeling that these things that are hanging down are going to be very important. Whatever they are. We've seen this boss before. Lethal acrobatic action. She's just so fast. Woo! I'm so excited. See the mama and the kids. This we haven't seen as much. This area we've only saw Hornet sliding down this area. We have seen this crest here. Look at her health. It's sparkling. That's a detail we haven't seen before. We have seen the gossamer thing. We've seen this thing, but the sparkling health, I think it means that Hornet is cold, and it's possible that she will lose health if she stays in the cold. That's one option. Or two, the sparkling health means that she has a defense from the cold and she will not lose health. I'm thinking one of those two. We've got so much of this stuff falling from the sky. If it is a fungus, it would be weird that it's cold because fungus doesn't really grow in frozen tundra areas that I'm aware of. But yeah, interesting. Lots of platforming, lots of using enemies to get higher. But once that enemy is dead, how are you going to get higher? If you mess up, that's going to be tough. These enemies, these ants, look like they would be in Bone Bottom. Flipping around. Yep. Oh, so look at this thing up at the top. I have a feeling that this symbol on the top left is that same pot item that we saw earlier, and it protects her from heat. That's my guess. Is this thing is going to protect us from heat because it's got the red fire. I think we're just looking at the pot from the top down because it's more aesthetic having it be round like the other icons as opposed to like a sideways pot. We have a lava escape sequence that we've seen before. Enemies just being taken out by the lava, though they live near the lava. Okay, we've seen this little sequence of Hornet fighting. I think the exact same sequence. That's okay. So we got the last judge. We've got a cutscene, which means this is probably not the only cutscene. What is all this stuff on the ground in this cutscene? Look at this, that bell, or it's not even a bell, that symbol that we've seen this time and time again, usually at the top of the staffs of some of the enemies, and also on Hornet's cage when the game first starts. A vast handcrafted world. It sure is. So here it looks like we're above the city. We start ascending. Look, look at the big pipe in the background. That's a pipe that we see that is leading up, which a lot of us think that all of the deep dock workers and all of the lava, all of that stuff, they're harnessing the heat and the energy to create some sort of steam engine to then pump the steam up, to pump the energy up essentially towards whatever's at the top. You'd think that the steam would lose its heat as it's traveling through a bunch of different pipes, especially because the pipes aren't insulated. But you know what? That's just an oversight. Those pipes would be super, super hot if they were just filled with steam. But if you notice, I think later on, if I remember right, there's more pipes and they're also, they're not quite as thick. The pipes are channeling energy up, and I feel like we see these pipes quite a bit. Then, this is a new area that we just saw 2 days ago for the first time. This is the first time that we've seen 4 different things in the UI. It is interesting that when we saw this clip, it was very zoomed in at the Gamescom opening night live, because we're not seeing anything here that's different or special or whatever on the edge, other than the number of masks is a lot more than we've seen before. So 9 masks is kind of a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm probably gonna want 9 masks. It seems like you die a lot faster based on the demo, but the demo isn't necessarily exactly what the game is going to be like. I think we're not ready. We're not ready for the demo yet. So this enemy is just spewing its nastiness all over the place. And that's fine too. Hornet's doing her down attack, which is related to this crest that she has on here. That's why she's doing like a spin attack. And so she bounces off the enemy. I wonder if she should be able to just down pogo, down pogo, down pogo, I would imagine. But we've only ever seen her down pogo on an enemy one at a time. Actually, no. I did see in a demo with Blue, he was pogoing off of the Deep Docks enemy's head over and over again. So there we go. All right, so Hornet doing her pogo thing. So, okay, so we got this guy with a bell, but see his little symbol here? I feel like that is the same symbol with the round thing with like kind of almost like the lace on it. We have not seen this area before that I remember. I don't know if the Bell Beast can come to areas like this because there's not a bunch of bells for the Bell Beast to like run through. Can the Bell Beast only show up in areas where there's enough bells for the Bell Beast to swim through, or is this a fast travel location? All right, Hornet sprinting again. I think that this is a fast travel area. So look at these. Oh, are they actual enemies? Does Hornet fight them? She does. Okay. For a second, I thought that they were going to be friendly because they were just like chilling out, standing there, but they were just having a good time, enjoying their lives. Hornet runs up, boom, smacks them right in the face. They can't like just chill out. Hornet's got to attack. So up at the top left, the last time we saw Hornet use her string to ascend the way that she is now, there was a different symbol at the top left. It did not look like this. So it makes me think that maybe there's either that, I don't know if they would have changed the symbol for this, because we saw this in the opening night live demo, the symbol that she had when she was using her string to go up. But now it's this symbol, and she's clearly using silk. So I'm like, I don't know if the symbol here that she has is the same one that she's using for silk. Whatever she's using to climb extremely fast is one, it's obvious it is using silk. I just don't think that it's tied to this specific ability. I think that this is probably some sort of attack, and this that we see here, she's using an ability to go up, kind of like a permanent ability that she gets. That's my guess. And this thing right here, it's clearly some sort of tool, and it looks like one of the injection ones that she uses, but it's not a blue syringe for extra health. In the same way for extra masks, it could be a health syringe. It could be something that makes her deal more damage. I think there's a couple of different ways that could go. And we have seen this tool before. Her nail's a little bit shorter here than with some of the tools, going 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes 5 masks long. Like if we go backwards, oh, this one's super short. Look at this tool, 1, 2, it barely goes 3. I'll have to go back and double check and make sure I didn't miss any of these later, because I haven't been checking all of the crests. But we've been through this area, and it looks like all these things are like, they look like fish. Everything looks like it's swimming, but can Hornet swim? So we have seen this crest. We've seen all of these items. Interesting. The spikes is up on the down, I'm assuming D-pad. This is down on what I'm assuming is the D-pad. And then this one doesn't have a thing. So we can't have 3 tools at the same time. I didn't think that was possible. Over 200 ferocious foes, from 165 to 200 plus. This is cool. I love that this enemy uses its whip to wrap around its hand to then use as like a punch. Boom! It's very creative. So this is the first. Now we're starting to get into like the really new stuff. So one, that other enemy, which I doubt was like a boss. I think it's just a bigger enemy. This right here, I doubt that these are bosses, but we are in an arena and we have seen several of them fighting. Clearly there's spikes on the ground, so they're throwing stuff as they're going. So look at that. Flying enemies are always tough, but I think Hornet's going to have more movement and ways to deal with it. We've seen these enemies as well, so another arena fight here. We have seen this area before, the chandelier. So as Hornet does any like big attacks, you'll see like the entire like things in the background start to sway, which is cool. Oh, look at this. The crest up at the top left, brand new crest. We haven't seen that one before. And look, 1, 2, 3, 4. This nail goes out to 5. So do we see a new attack? Nope, she didn't do any new attack. She did that down pogo does look very similar to her other sideways down pogo, but look how she goes invisible when she does this pogo. That's different and not something that we saw before when she did her pogo. No shot. Yeah, see, so she had a full silk bar and she only used the 4 little spools in order to, boom, do her little dash through, but she did use some silk. Oh, this is the symbol that I was talking about earlier. When Hornet went directly up, we have seen Hornet have this ability, this symbol before, when she was going straight up through that blue water area. Vanquish over 40 legendary bosses. There we go. And so we saw this boss yesterday. Very cool. They seem to embrace. Look at this, eye to eye, but arms flying all over the place. They spin. They seem very robotic. They crash into each other. I don't know what's going on there. This is a new enemy here. Oh. Is it just me? Or does that look like a weaver? But it doesn't have a round head. What is that? And obviously it's got a bunch of silk all over. It's not the collector. That kind of looks like a weaver. Oh, look. And so Hornet doesn't have enough silk to do this ability that we saw on the last screen. We have seen this tool before. Spider disappears, brings out bells on the ground across the whole floor. But as the bells come across the ground on the floor, it's destroying the silk that is up top, which is interesting. So there was more silk over here on the left. Oh, look, Hornet's doing her glide. Oh, I missed that earlier. That's cool. So she can just like stay up in the air a little bit longer. Hornet jumps off the top, opens up, boop, and she just glides. That's cool. This one is too big. Definitely looks more like a boss fight. Seen the crest before. I forget what this... I don't know what this thing does. I think it's an item similar to that fire pot is an item that protects us from fire. I think that this is going to protect us from poison. Hornet's almost getting sucked in. All right. Look, we got the new crest again, so maybe we'll see even more of the attacks that she does with this crest. And look at the... Oh, that was so fast. It jumped off the... This is the symbol that we saw on the ground in the cutscene. Does that mean that that symbol relates to this boss only? Almost certainly not. It's not going to be just this boss. I think that it's related to the hierarchy or the bigger bosses. What do we want to call them? The higher beings of this game. That's kind of what I think this symbol is related to. Next up, we have seen this enemy before. We're almost certain that we get a special attack from this enemy. Probably the screw attack thing. And then as you can see here, we've got the yellow version of the tool enhancement. Look at Hornet just doing a backflip. She was running left, jumps to the right. So as she's in her like slow down animation, backflip. So there we go. Yeah, see how these things they're red and they've got like kind of these lines. Almost certainly we end up getting a tool probably directly from this boss fight. Here we have seen this enemy up at the top before, but we did not see the little enemy here at the side. And I'm pretty sure we've seen this pin tool briefly. Just briefly. All right, so I love that we're getting more dual boss fights because those were always really, really fun. And so now we've got the lava boss fight. You can see lots of rust in the legs. Are we seeing the silk from above? Not as much as before. The very first time we ever saw this boss, almost all of the arms and legs had like silk hanging from the top, just a little bit, and it made it very clear that like something from the top was controlling, and I think it might have been a little bit too obvious as to what was happening, and then they removed that detail, so in that way you have to kind of figure it out over time. But I feel like that's something we didn't know before. Restore a kingdom's hope. Here we go. We got a kingdom. We got an area. We have seen this NPC at more than just one location, which is kind of cool. We see the good NPCs with bells at the end of their staffs. whereas the bad NPCs don't have bells. They've got the circle with like the lines on it. I'm trying to see like what is it on these walls? It almost looks like shell of some sort. Hard to tell exactly what it is, but interesting. This is probably the bench for the area, and all of the areas that are like good towns all seem to have this here. I don't want to call them Lumaflies because they look bigger than Lumaflies. They look different, but it also looks like the things that Lace is controlling or like talking to in a couple of different areas. Got the Bell Beast. Nothing new or special there. Hornet clashing. Oh, see this tool here? That's the tool that we saw right here. It's the same like pin, not the pin, but like not quite nail either. I don't know. It looks like the same item. Boom. Boom. This is interesting. A very different looking NPC. And if we look at the scroll here, lots of music note looking stuff. Up and over, like this right here, very, very music note-esque. I don't know much about music. It's not like straight sheet music or whatever, but we are seeing like these are definitely music note symbols. So will this NPC teach us a new song? I think that is a chance. I think there's a chance for that. Oh, trying to get a kiss, and Hornet gives a smack with the back of her hand. I thought she hit with her nail. She backhands. Bap. Ooh, love to see it. Hornet's just lethal. Shot. So here, we've got Lace boss fight. We got the little green thing at the end, which makes it look like it's either extra silk or it's the opposite. It's like a poison that keeps the silk meter from going full. But I kind of think it's not the poison keeping the silk meter from getting full because it's at the left side of the silk meter, not the right. If it was to keep the silk meter from going all the way, I would expect it to be all the way to the right. So maybe it's like a synthetic silk. I don't know. All right, so we see Lace doing Lace fight stuff, same as like earlier on. Doesn't look like we have any new moves, but we do have that same symbol up at the top. And also look at the nail. It's almost like this is extra silk stored in the nail crest. She's gaining extra silk here, but she's charging her nail as well. It's charging up both, which is very, very interesting. I think that this meter on the nail is a separate thing from her silk meter. I don't think that the green relates to the nail crest, but I think that the crest can be charged up for a special ability. And so as we go, when Hornet doesn't attack, boom, it charged up both of these at the same time. So Hornet charges up both her silk meter and the crest meter at the same time. Does she do something that costs silk? I don't think so. I think it cuts. Woo! That's a lot. That's a lot. I think that what'll happen is after I have seen this crest meter be like opened up and it almost had like a second bar. I think that there's a special attack that you can do with either that nail or that crest specifically, which I think is cool. Also, for the first time, I don't think we've seen Lace's weapon be orange like this in the past. I think that Lace has a way to upgrade their own weapon. Do we see her do anything like that? So look, weapon's regular color. No, and then just as it flicked up, it looked orange there for a second. So that was different. I wasn't expecting that. And then if you haven't already seen, September 4th, in 2 weeks, Hollow Knight Silksong will officially release. We just don't know what year. We just know it's September 4th. Oh, what a day. So exciting. Hollow Knight Silksong coming soon. Let's go. I cannot wait. September 4th, Hollow Knight Silksong, and I'm here for it. I'm ready. Can't wait. Sure you can't wait too. Thank you guys for being here for the breakdown. As soon as the game releases, I'll take some time off. I'm gonna put in today for time off on release day, and I'll live stream it. And because I got to play the game before I can figure out what the tutorials are, right? I don't know what the tutorials are unless I figure out where are the parts where I get stuck. And then as we find things, I think that makes sense. We're going to do the live stream. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I really appreciate you being here. It was a great day. Thank you. Talk to you more later.